Hello and welcome to our commentary track of Ebirah Horror of the Deep. I'm Alex.
I'm GVR.
I'm Kaiju X.
I'm Harley.
And I'm Nagoda.
I'm Joe Mama.
As I said, we're watching Ebirah Horror of the Deep, but we're doing the Titra dub.
At least, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is the version where I don't know if it's in both American versions, but I know this is the version where the guy's brother gets lost at sea. They kind of repurpose the scene to the beginning just to show him getting lost. Even though I think in a few shots, like a few seconds before, you could clearly see it's the main characters.
Yeah.
Because see, I think that was this was the actual opening.
Yeah. Huh.
Again, I could be wrong. It could be in both American versions, but I think
No. I do not think there is I do very much think that there is whatchamacallit, like that scene came in much later because I don't remember that being directly at the beginning of the movie. So
Yeah, I remember that being later.
I've only ever watched the Titra dub.
this is my first time watching the Titra dub.
Never seen this version before.
Yeah, I just know a lot of people prefer it because I think the people who dubbed it took it a lot more seriously, and the other dub
better.
Yeah, and this dub doesn't contain a character who sounds like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the guy in the brown sweater who sounded like him.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, because he's comic relief, so he's got to sound annoying.
Yep.
No.
Batman.
Clearly a reference to the lost 1966 project, Batman vs. Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, and speaking of lost projects, this was obviously it's common knowledge, but this was originally supposed to be Operation Robinson Crusoe, King Kong versus Ebirah, where it was the same exact film, but without Godzilla. It was just Kong.
Which is very obvious when you actually watch the movie and see Godzilla acting much more like Kong than Godzilla.
Right, yeah. Pay attention to how Godzilla behaves in this movie, and you will see it is very Kong.
I mean, even with how they wake up Godzilla, it's pretty obvious who was the intended monster for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just one thing I never got. Why'd they call it Operation Robinson Crusoe?
I remember digging into that. That's a very specific reference to something. What was it called? I think it was some kind of adventure story.
I know Robinson Crusoe was like some sort of like island story.
Yeah.
Novel.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. That's why that Kong version was called that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Neat.
So why that didn't carry over to Ebirah Horror of the Deep is beyond me, but whatever.
Yeah. I also assume like the change from... Oh, sorry, Joe. What I was going to say was I assume that like the change from Kong to Godzilla happened rather late in the movie's like production.
Well, yeah, imagine so, because they didn't even bother to change it to Godzilla's characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just maybe outside of a few atomic breath inserts.
Yeah, because we all know Godzilla's not interested in women. He's a gamer.
Yeah, Robinson Crusoe is a novel from like the 1700s about a castaway on an island.
Oh.
Okay, I knew it. I knew that's what it was.
You know what we should do? Steal a ship like these guys are doing.
I know. They just walk on the ship and like, you know what? Hey, great.
I'll be the robber.
There's the guy with the gun.
I mean, I assumed that was going to be Kaiju X because, gun owner, white.
I assumed. Well, I assumed it would be Gray Shot.
Oh,
Your boat was so nice, we decided to break in and root through your shit.
Yeah, I would just find. I'd be trying to find Nagoda.
Yeah,
but he would be on the Mothra Island.
Yeah. After getting lost at sea.
Nagoda Island.
Was
Mothra planned to be in the original draft? Because it seems like her appearance here seems really out of place, even for the movie.
Yeah, she was meant to be in the original King Kong draft.
Yeah, the whole script is basically completely identical except for Godzilla being switched. I mean, Kong being swapped out for Godzilla. So giant condor, red bamboo, everything.
Seeing Kong and Mothra interact would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
And it actually makes more sense at the end when people are telling Godzilla to get away from the nuclear bomb when it was supposed to be Kong.
Right, or how Mothra basically one-shots Godzilla in this movie with her wings. It's like seeing Kong in that role, it's like I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also would have been funny to see the old Kong suit get hit by Mothra.
Yeah.
That would have been funny. They probably would have constructed a new suit, maybe something more in the vein of the one seen in King Kong Escapes, but I only state that as a possibility, not a fact.
Yeah, but the suit in King Kong Escapes doesn't look any better than the one in Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
What an awesome boat.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks cozy.
Right.
It can fit 4 people rather comfortably.
Yeah, all things considered. But imagine if Yoshimura, which I think is the name of the thief, was the only one here. He had 4 different beds to sleep in.
Ooh. His pillow looks like lettuce. I just wanted to say that.
And, a huge supply of canned goods.
That is a nice boat.
I know I bitch on Toho a lot, but Toho has some really nice boats. That and the one from Matongo.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said, Toho's pretty good except for, the executive side of things.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, the creative minds that make these movies are obviously that's where you find a lot of the good people. It's on the creative side, and it's those higher up executives that I guess do all the company stuff that are the ones you really have to complain about.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one creative person, Yoshimitsu Banu. He ruined Godzilla, folks. Let's accept that.
Are they eating?
Yeah, fuck that.
Are they eating pancakes?
Why
I think they are
eating pancakes?
What?
Probably. How'd they get pancakes on the ocean?
It had to have been either pre-made or they just used the sun? I don't know. Fun fact, you can also find Yalin in the pages of Godzilla, Rulers of Earth, Issue 1. Courtesy of Matt Frank, because the man loves his references.
Yeah, nice.
Well, considering how Toho won't let him actually mention the movies in any capacity in the comics, I understand him wanting to get every reference in he can.
Or, characters. Because they threw a fit over Mickey being in a comic.
You would?
No, I was saying didn't they throw a fit over Mickey appearing in one of the comics?
I think they did.
I know.
It's weird because, obviously context clues suggest that it's supposed to be Mickey, but I think it's sort of a low-key, it's not really Mickey sort of situation, even though, it's totally meant to be.
Oh, because I could have sworn, in early prints of it, she was actually referred to Mickey.
I haven't gotten any sort of reprints of that particular book. I know the copy I have refers to her as Mickey, so I'm not entirely sure if that changed with future reprints or what have.
By the way, I like how this island usually has a storm around it when Ebirah shows up.
It's one of his
yeah.
powers.
Oh yeah.
He's got to make it atmospheric.
Probably another reason how this was supposed to be a Kong movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ebirah has so many
Oh
powers
yeah,
to
that
his
makes
bio.
sense.
And here we go. Here's the same scene playing that we just saw 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of one thing I don't like about the Titra dub, is that it just kind of just reuses a clip, and I kind of like the mystery of the brother going missing instead of showing what happens.
That's fair. That's fair, because don't get me wrong, there's always...
I mean, I never got that scene on the one I had recorded, so...
Right.
Oh no, it's the giant claw.
Everyone's favorite joke.
It's as big as a
I
battleship.
really like this funky James Bond music forever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not only
I think it fits really well.
that, but
music in
that
this
brief
movie.
sequence was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
definitely.
they all wash
And
up
the
on shore.
whole the whole Ebirah's claw worked really well. Like, I think it was a really good prop.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
Like
it
this-
like...
Go ahead, Kaiju.
Oh, I was about to say, it blended in really well. Like, that was a really effective sequence right there. Both,
Yeah.
like, especially with blending the special effects with the real life, or at least cutting it together that way. It blends real organically.
Yeah, despite Ebirah's reputation in the fandom as a punching bag, he is probably one of the most. He's shown very intimidatingly in this movie, better than most kaiju are.
Intimidating
Yeah.
and interesting given the circumstance with the whole setting and how the red bamboo actually use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more to do with the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
it's
cut
okay.
you
I was
off.
just gonna say the red. I love how the red bamboo don't actually control him. What they do is just actually use the chemical to drive him away while they let their ship leave.
Yeah.
Let their ships leave. That's
Yeah.
that's a really fun take on the villain controlling the monster. Is that
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
Kind of
control it.
like it's kind of like Gamera versus Gurren.
Oh, yeah, it is similar to that, where it's like
The
they are-
aliens don't actually control him, but they keep him locked up in
They
somewhere.
can kind of like guide him, but they don't control him.
I think Ebirah's reputation is more to do with Final Wars than this movie.
Probably.
Yeah.
That and a mix of
unfortunately.
he's a lobster. We can't take him seriously.
Oh,
He's
right.
a shrimp.
Truthfully, I think Final Wars has done a lot of damage for a lot of monsters, like a lot of the Showa monsters, especially just in terms of how they're treated and like their reputation among the fandom.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It did great work for some monsters, but for everyone else, ew.
Especially what they did to Adora. Just a single shot.
It's interesting you say that because I kind of view Final Wars and King of the Monsters similar in some aspects. Like
Yeah.
reputation for fandom. Final Wars does it badly. King of the Monsters does it well, but they both share something in common, is that a lot of the people kind of get these dumb, just really bad takes.
Yeah.
Or they come up with kind of again, I feel bad for insulting people's views of them, but it's it gets to the point with those two, it's cringe ideas.
Yeah.
Ate a lot of bananas.
He's going to be
That's pretty
taking a
bananas,
crap
man.
later.
Damn.
Oh
We
yeah,
had some oranges too.
one thing I keep forgetting, going back to what Harley said about the music, not really more or less about how it was done, but why it was chosen is the composer is Masaru Sato instead of Fukube. I believe Jun Fukuda suggested having Masaru Sato because he wanted to have someone that he was more comfortable with composing his music for his movies, as opposed to Ifukube, who he said he was kind of more or less unfamiliar with. So that's why we got Sato instead of Ifukube for this movie and Son.
Interesting.
It's nice.
That makes
It's
sense.
a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
I noticed that when the ship was like the shot of the ship, the overhead shot of the ship, you could see like the stuff they used to drive Ebirah away in like behind it.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
nice
By the way, I
foreshadowing.
like the music for the Red Bamboo theme.
Yeah. I also wanted to add to that Rankin Bass wanted Ashiro Honda to direct, and I believe Eiji Tsuburaya for special effects for Operation Robinson Crusoe. But Toho was more insistent on Jun Fukuda for Ebirah.
You like his Doctor Who.
It was for lower budgets, lower budget, correct?
I believe so. I don't have the full answer to that. But eventually, though, obviously the Ebirah movie had already been kind of in production when Rankin Bass was like, "Oh, let's drop the project," and Toho was just like, we'll just move forward with it. Replace Kong with Godzilla. Call it good.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Dr. Serizawa. Came back. He came back from the dead.
I'd like to point something out real quick.
Yeah.
One thing that annoys me is that a lot of people online have made their own red bamboo symbol because they think it doesn't have a symbol. But if you look clearly on their boat and on their paperwork, they have a symbol right there.
Yes, they do.
Bugs me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it because they don't wear it on their uniforms and that's why they think they don't have a symbol?
I think so.
Probably.
That's a very
Okay. This is going to sound rude, but that's a dumb reason.
because people don't pay enough attention.
Because it's not in clear
Also,
sight.
I mean, they kind of have symbols on their caps and the guy's eye patch.
Right.
I think those are more like what's it called? Like the military ranking symbols type of deal. Funny thing is, I think
The reason why Ebirah is not really seen in a positive light is because I feel like if they stuck with Khan, a giant lobster doesn't seem that it doesn't seem as bad for Khan as it would Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also
you can see Khan find a giant lobster and it's like, okay, that's a credible threat. But when you put Godzilla there, it's like, ooh, it suddenly is a bit more sketch. That's a great shot, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, I love this scene.
Oh, I love that.
That is so good.
He stabs him. That's
Shish kebab.
awesome.
Oh, that guitar riff. Ooh.
Yeah, like going back to what Harley was saying, it seems a bit odd to pit Godzilla against a giant crustacean when last movie he fought King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Remember, Showa Ghidorah isn't that powerful.
I mean, he was more impressive in the first two movies. It's just he seems less impressive when you look at the 70s and destroy all monsters.
Yeah, I get you. But no, I still think Ebirah is still a good threat to the movie because, again, when you take account all the history, it makes sense why they would want to use it.
Yeah, and
even without Godzilla, it basically makes for a good kind of like gatekeeper. Like there's no escape from this creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, Ebirah, up until Godzilla, pulls his arms off and burns him to a crisp, is an actual credible threat throughout the movie.
Yeah, he was able to basically keep up with Godzilla in the water.
Yeah.
Is that
I
why?
think it says a lot that I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, I was about to say and I have a feeling Harley might have been going in that direction, but I don't know. But is that the reason why Ebirah, the international title for this movie, is Ebirah, Horror of the Deep?
Yeah.
Probably.
They were trying to hide Godzilla.
I was actually going to say, is that why? It's not why, the implication that the red bamboo, it's not explicitly they can't control, to build on Ebirah's threat as a credible threat. They also have the bad guys. They just drive it away to keep the boat safe. They don't control it. It's as very much a threat to them as it is to anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a chemical just to drive them away. Made from, I think, plants from this island or something.
I think it was like the lemons or something. Or,
yeah, something like that. It was some kind of fruit. Some kind of special.
Ebirah hates lemons.
Makes sense.
Someone gets paid in lemons.
By the way, I also like how apparently this shows that infant islanders have weapons like swords and knives.
Oh yeah.
I mean, of course.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a dangerous neighborhood, so they have to be packing.
Yeah.
to eat somehow.
Well, I mean,
They can't just eat berries and nuts.
yeah, they live in nature.
I mean, they could, I suppose, but
They gotta be ready to hunt animals.
What's that background noise?
That's what I want to know.
The infant islanders. You know how they are, clapping their rocks, trying to scare people away.
I'm surprised they never brought back the red bamboo as villains.
Yeah.
It would have been nice.
yeah.
I mean, it's clearly been shown that there's more cells of them than just what's on this island.
Right. Like, this is merely a division of the red bamboo, not the whole thing.
This is the division that holds the revived Dr. Serizawa, apparently.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
surprised,
no.
with all the things that were brought back in later movies, they never brought back the red bamboo. Also,
Considering... Oh,
go ahead.
Considering where this division is, I wouldn't be surprised if they were just an outpost. It's very clear that their main goal is to just secure the shipping of these fruits or whatever. An actual, there's nothing much beyond that. They're very clearly an outpost, not the main
I think
story.
it's supposed to be this outpost is a weapons facility.
Yeah, it's a nuclear weapons facility.
Yeah.
Same island. Which is which is very unfortunate.
Joe, there's a noise in your background. A little weird.
Yeah, I think the fact that the red bamboo have this island set to blow up shows that they don't care too much about it.
Mm-hmm. They're literally willing to abandon everything.
He's looking down at her boobies.
Oh yeah, I just remembered something. Isn't Dio also played by the what's her name? Namikawa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kumi Mizuno.
Yep.
Yeah, I always found it interesting how I'm speaking strictly through Showa films, is Kumi Mizuno was kind of always treated as a big part of the Godzilla series, but she was only in 2 of them at that time.
Yeah.
Even though, she was in other major films like Gorath, Matango, Frankenstein vs. Baragon, and War of the Gargantuas.
So this girl is from Infant Island, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do really like how even on the Infant Island know you need to avoid this place because there's a monster there that will just devour you. She doesn't explicitly mention that they can't escape because the monster. Granted, she might just be saying that because she saw the monster on the boat, but
Yeah.
Be quiet.
music seems to be a very integral part of Infinite Island's culture too.
Isn't that all Islanders thing? Like just a island thing?
I know, but for Infinite Island, with the fact that the priestess's singing literally summons Mothra, it seems to play a more important role to them than average.
Probably because in some way connected to singing, so the Infinite Islanders adapted that to their own culture.
By the way, I love this Mothra song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's probably my favorite of the bunch.
I do believe, if memory serves, and do correct me if I am wrong, but the Shobijin here are played by different actresses for this movie.
They are?
Yes.
They are.
They are played by Pear Bambi, I believe they are called. Again, I might be remembering that, but, so, I do think this is their only appearance within the Godzilla series, or the only time it's ever changed in the Showa series from Peanuts to someone else.
Yeah, how come they didn't get the Peanuts back?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with... I guess they just weren't available, I guess, but that's...
Aren't the Peanuts a pop band?
No, they were. I don't think they were a band. They were the sisters. Yeah, they were the sisters.
No, like they were known for something outside of Godzilla, though. Like they're not called the Peanuts just because they just happen to be called that.
Right.
Like there's a reason why. I think that's because like scheduling conflicts with like a city concert or something, whatever.
Yeah.
I do like that this movie does show that Mothra has like when people say Infinite Islanders, they usually just think of the Shobijin. They don't think of there's an actual tribe that worships her.
Yeah, no, the Peanuts were a Japanese vocal group consisting of twin sisters Emi Ito and Yumi Ito.
I told you.
So it's like that's just what they were called together, the Peanuts. But it's not like a whole band. It was literally just the sisters.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned they were more of a pop group, because J-pop tends to be individuals in the group.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, I do like that, even though Godzilla is like completely like he's half buried and asleep, but they still go, "Oh shit, it's Godzilla."
Yeah.
I mean, I still like how Godzilla's still passed out from falling off the cliff.
Is that what happened?
I mean, it basically makes the most sense because he fell off the cliff at the end of Monster Zero, got washed up away, and then hasn't been seen since, just now.
I mean, that's what happened
Fair enough.
with Kong to Mothra.
Mm-hmm.
Kong threw him off a cliff, and then Godzilla got shoved underneath the beach by the time of Godzilla versus Mothra, or Mothra versus Godzilla.
Godzilla has a very bad habit of being thrown off cliffs, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's a convenient way to deal with him without killing him.
Yeah.
By the way, I like how there's just like this one guy that's just this really good robber. And their plan involves a moving bush.
Well, yeah, he's a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always really like the characters in this movie. They've always been a lot of fun. They're all sort of quirky, unique. They're not like the deepest characters, but they're just a lot of fun, and I always really enjoyed them for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded if this was more or less just about the characters, and Ebirah, maybe Mothra were the only ones in it.
Yeah, they could have just had like Mothra save them from Ebirah instead of having Godzilla be there.
Yeah, really, Godzilla or Kong weren't really needed in this movie. Again, this movie could have just been about rebellion.
I think based on that, this is the early signs of Toho being worried that without Godzilla, it's not going to do as well.
Or some kind of major icon like Kong.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, because I feel like because this may have started the trend of inserting Godzilla into a movie he really had no business being in. Like, come on,
this could have just been a Mothra and Ebirah movie.
And
already
Giant
had her
Condor.
own
Don't forget
at
Giant
this
Condor.
point. Do we have to?
Giant Condor was obviously just there just to fill the status quo of monster fights.
Mm-hmm.
True.
He was just there just to make sure the kiddies don't get bored.
I want to say it was there because they didn't want to film more water scenes with Ebirah. Because Ebirah is a puppet. I don't think it's actually a suit, right? Or if it is, it's like a half suit because it's like merged.
I think it's a combination of like puppetry and a suit, but it is absolutely a suit.
Okay, because I'm just thinking if it was on land, if Ebirah went on land, it would look a little more clunky.
By the way, that's an interesting door.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of like really creative interiors with this place. It's really nice seeing this kind of thing. So should have more security cameras around, but hey, what can you do? I'm sure they were on a budget.
That actually makes more sense, along with the fact that this is probably a smaller division of Red Bamboo compared to something like the Garogas or the Keylocks.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying the Red Bamboo are like the smartest like organization in the world, but at least I could say they're competent to some extent.
Yeah.
This is an outpost that probably doesn't expect a whole like if anything on this scale.
Yeah.
Like there's like no reason to suspect people are going to actually break in because there's no one
And
around.
the giant monster guarding the island.
Find the island.
Yeah, and at most they just expect a few infant islanders running away from them.
Like the bowling pin tear gas bombs.
Yeah, they don't expect anyone to try breaking in. They just expect anyone escaping to run.
They expect breakouts.
Yeah, either break out, they expect Ebirah to eat them, the giant condor to eat them. Basically everything but exploration.
Now, hey, look, it is the yellow stuff in those things.
They have gas grenades full of lemon.
I think it's more like that.
You have to drive off the giant condor somehow, right? You can't just spray it in the water like you can with Ebirah.
See, this whole set is just fun.
Mm-hmm. Right, a lot of
this whole movie is kind of good.
It's like it's got a good combination of sort of like the metallic grays, but then there's a lot of like colorful pipings that really make the color stand out. So, and just a lot of pretty lights and stuff. It's actually a pretty big set. Now you think about it.
Back when Toho actually gave filmmakers money.
Well, until the 70s rolled around, that's when things got complicated. But yeah, it was back during the golden age.
Yeah, they had money to throw around.
It's also really colorful.
I think it's just that they had money.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, maybe don't go in there.
Why do they just have a safe door to the nuclear reactor? Oh wait, never mind. That's supposed to be there, huh? If we go,
Yeah.
if we go by what we see in 2014, that's basically supposed to be there.
Gotta keep that radiation out somehow.
It's probably what they could afford, because I imagine even though they're making nuclear weapons on this island, the Maribamboo probably isn't pumping that enough funding for this to be operational. Not enough funding for more high-tech security vault.
Oh look,
Yeah.
it's Sarazawa.
That whole moment right there just reminds me of something like a Han Solo sort of thing, where they're trying to sneak around, then all of a sudden they get caught by the villain.
Yeah.
And it erupts into something like this.
I really like the thief's like, oh, geez, yeah. Like, he seems almost, like, annoyed that he got caught.
Yeah. It's like a normal thing for him. And he's like, God damn it, not again.
Because he probably is used to pulling quick escapes after being caught.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did just rob a bank before the movie started, so.
There's nothing inconspicuous here.
We had more of these smaller scale Godzilla movies.
These are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are awesome.
Yeah, I know. They're really refreshing, the smaller scale movies, because it's like you don't need everything to be big to be good, you know?
You
Yeah.
just need a good story.
I like that they established Godzilla, but he's not. But it's like it's sort of like it's like remember him for later, and not like he is just there.
Yeah. Because like with in the Heisei and Millennium series, all of them are plots about like the world is in danger or the whole country is in danger.
We've got to save the world, Jets.
And like it's good to have those, but like that constantly back to back starts to get tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the stakes here, like the stakes here are purely just personal. Like get off the island. That's the only goal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's also nice that they basically took a 2-movie break from the world's ending, with Ebirah and Sun just being smaller scale stuff.
Definitely. So, yeah, it'd just be nice to have something small scale again. And of course, people aren't going to be really like, oh, you know, I don't think that's going to be coming up anytime soon, sadly. But, you know, smaller scale movies help. They're good breathers.
Yeah.
I'd argue Kong Skull Island is a small scale thing that we got recently.
I guess, yeah.
That's all King Kong movies.
Right. It wasn't like, you know, the world was at stake. It's we discovered this crazy island. Now we have to get off it.
Yeah, we screwed up big time.
Yeah.
Like every Kong movie, though, is we found Skull Island. Now we have to.
Yeah. There was like a bit of world-threatening stakes with like the idea of the skull crawlers going out of control if Kong dies. But other than that, yeah.
That Godzilla's heartbeat is so loud they can hear it, like just pressing their ear against the rock that high up.
He's like, well, since I'm going to be in here forever, might as well introduce myself to the native women.
I don't think that's a lemon Kaiju X.
Well, they look like lemons.
I think they're just totally a different kind of fruit that just go unnamed.
They're yellow fruit. Just nondescript yellow fruit.
Yep.
I wouldn't say Dio was praying; she was moaning. That's what it looked like from that shot, or at least how the dubber was doing it.
Yeah, it sounds like I think it's supposed to be she's singing. Is what I think it's supposed to be. So apparently, Mothra was just schnoozing.
Well, she always does that.
I know, but I think the movie like explicitly says she's just asleep, which is like all the monsters are just asleep for this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Except for Ebirah.
And Giant Condor.
Except for all the good monsters are just taking a nap.
Yeah, no, it's surprising that it takes the movie so long for her to get up. It's like, huh. But, it's like, she's there. She's gonna...
If I had to offer a criticism towards this movie, it's the Mothra prop.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Just... It doesn't look the best just there.
Again, it's probably old.
How close to this island? How close is the island to the other island?
Relatively close, if I remember right. Like, close enough.
Okay, because this guy just flew in on the guy flew in on a balloon and just flat crash landed in the ceremony. Pretty close. So he was standing there for a really long time.
It's probably not that far, considering that later those two just take a raft right back to the other island.
Yeah.
I guess it's like close, but not close enough to be affected by nuclear fallout. Or no, wait, never mind. It's Infinite Island. Like they don't worry about it. Nuclear fallout.
That could be the reason why. Yeah, that could be the reason why the Islanders know about Ebirah, because like the island is just close enough that it could be the Mothra is basically like their version of the gas. She keeps away from the island.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, you kind of staticked out.
Yeah, you were kind of like you were having a mixture of a static, fast forward, and an aneurysm all in one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay, how do I sound now?
You sound fine.
Okay, I said maybe Mothra is like the Islanders version of the Gats, because if they're that close, I imagine Ebirah probably is like pretty much like near the shores of Infinite Island as well as this island.
Yeah, he's probably like harassed Infinite Island, and Mothra's had to like drive him away a few times.
She's like, get out of here, you stupid asshole. Oh,
I think this was basically the start of the whole retcon. Godzilla only gets hurt by artificial lightning, not natural.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because he gets hurt by it in the first few movies, and then he's fine here. Then cut to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, where he's literally standing in a lightning storm to power himself up.
Right. And then there's G54, who is just completely immune to lightning. So,
You could argue that the lightning, you could argue that the pain is what woke him up. I imagine being struck by lightning is not a pleasant experience no matter what.
You can also argue that 54 probably just didn't care about the man-made electricity because he was already in pain, so...
Yeah.
I mean, when 54 walks into the power lines, you see Villain going off. Jesus, Christ! Like you see him flying around like oh.
What?
Also, another reason why I'm pretty sure these aren't lemons, they're using leaves now.
Aren't the leaves just like the decoy?
Yeah, leaves are like the false. It's a false duplicate. I mean, the freaking the color could just be residual. from the mixture they were using. But even then, I imagine it
The
wasn't
leaves were
potent
also
enough.
yellow.
Right. I guess there's that too. But I was just thinking that the potency wasn't enough to keep Ebirah away.
Yeah, like they put enough in there to change the color, but not enough to actually drive Ebirah away.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the Infinite Island, the priestesses offer them a place to stay. That's, I don't know. For me, that seems, Infinite Island has always seemed kind of like isolationist. So for them offering up someone like, you can stay here if you want to, like, oh, that's a little weird.
Yeah, it's because the snobby old guy from Mothra vs. Godzilla and Ghidorah, the three-headed monster's gone.
Yeah. If I remember right, actually, and this is going to sound really weird, I think they're two different Infinite Islands in Showa. Because I believe there was a map of the Showa, like where all the islands are in the Showa series, and they're two different Infinite Islands. There's the one that's close to Lechi Island, which is where this movie's at, and then there's another one, like I think closer to the Philippines.
Oh, hey, look. Storms.
And they
Right
both
as the
have
boat
a
comes
Mothra.
near.
Yeah, I think they both have like a Mothra, a Shobijin, Islanders.
Oh, so that's where the second Mothra larva went.
Or they could always
I
have
don't know.
shared custody.
Maybe.
I mean, that would make sense for the second Mothra if it weren't for like the thing that apparently the second Mothra died of sickness.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Second Mothra died.
We
Second
got a
Mothra
time
died.
frame for how long it took to get them to the island.
Different Infinite Island that just likes sleeping, I guess.
Even though if there were two Infinite Islands, it would make sense for second Mothra to be alive, just off screen. But no, I guess she died. Who cares?
Yay!
So we got a time frame. It took them 3 days to get back to their island from Infinite Island.
Okay, so like far but close.
Yep. Also, Ebirah with his dramatic storms again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And any minute now, people are going to say, oh, finally, Godzilla wakes up.
The movie was fine without him.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was
Oh,
saying
yeah.
a little bit ago. You don't need Godzilla or Kong in this.
Ooh, look at that.
Like I said, Mothra by herself would do just fine.
Mothra makes more sense considering it's her people that are getting taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if there
And with
be
how close
monster
it
fights, you could
is.
just had Mothra swat giant condor out of the air and then fight Ebirah.
I think
Wait,
it would have been a little. I
You
think
could
it
have
would have
had
been
a
a little.
larva fight him.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Well, I was about to say, I think it would have been kind of difficult getting an Imago prop trying to fight the water-based Ebirah. I'm not saying it would have been impossible, but I think compared to throwing Godzilla or Kong in the water, I think it would be.
I was about to say that is probably why they went with one of them to have something fight Ebirah.
Yeah.
I still feel like a larva would have been fine doing the water fights.
Yeah, totally.
Or they could have had like Imago Mothra like grab Ebirah and pull him out of the water.
That would be crazy.
And there we have it. Yikes.
Yeah, this ain't the best looking.
I mean, it's a fine tune. That entrance is okay. I just think in certain shots the face looks a little too derpy.
Yeah.
I think the camera angle as Godzilla's getting out was like a little too low. You know what I mean?
I think it's when it's taken from the side, it looks good.
Like most of the Showa suits do not look good with like a head on like this.
Yeah.
Ebirah hit the ball out of bounds.
We're not going to see that ever again.
Yeah, I think I can see with the Kong influence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was about to say, wasn't Ebirah meant to be a giant octopus? But I might have. I think I was misattributing that to that there was meant to be a giant octopus in All Monsters Attack that was replaced by stock footage of Ebirah. Freaking just that.
Yeah, I just love how it went silent for a few seconds and just hit it.
Yeah.
That's 2020 on both sides. That's all they had going on there.
Ebirah, you splash.
Yeah, see,
Godzilla-
Godzilla was kind of had some sort of reaction to the splashing, which was weird.
Yeah.
There's probably the oh yeah, I can do this moment.
Right. Which again would have made sense for Kong to react to that.
Yeah, Kong, who's not really a water animal, getting splashed in the face would have made sense, as opposed to Godzilla, who swims through the ocean just fine.
Yeah.
Also, no, it's also like it's very common to pick up and throw rocks before getting in the water because he doesn't know, he knows it's a disadvantage. Godzilla, he just picked up a rock. He was just mad, I guess.
Yeah.
Woo. Huh.
I do actually think that Godzilla picking up a rock and throwing it though is very much in character as for Shaw Godzilla. He's very petty.
Yeah.
To me, that's just something
He threw
do.
rocks like a dog.
Well, he's just more
he's
aggressive.
Just an asshole like that.
Well, he's just an aggressive fighter.
Yeah, I was also about to point out that Godzilla did the overhead throw like Kong did.
Yeah.
So,
This is sort of the start of this Godzilla fighting more like a human.
oh yeah, the anthropomorphic element started like if they didn't kick in by Ghidorah, they certainly started kicking in here.
Well, in Ghidorah, Godzilla was sort of like an in-between of like the bestial fighting of Raids Again and the kung fu superhero of the 70s. Whereas
By the
here, he's
way,
fighting
I like
very much
how
like Kong.
Ebirah actually. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I like how Ebirah was actually doing some sort of damage because he clamped down on the hand, and it took Godzilla flipping him to get it off.
I think that shows how strong Godzilla is.
It was impressive for both of them.
No, false alarm. It's just two people having sex.
Man, that's kinky right there.
So this robber's apparently strong enough to pull two men down.
I mean, I guess you got to be strong to carry all that dough with you.
I mean, he is a successful robber, not an unsuccessful one. So clearly, he has to have some level of fitness. He's got to be able to run from the cops.
once again, strong set designs. Really enjoyed
Absolutely.
the look of the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definite props to the people who made this movie.
Don't you just love how
I do.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, one little nitpick I have. I do wish they showed a couple scenes of the Red Bamboo's reaction to Godzilla's presence. That's just that's a little nitpick. That's like I wish we had seen that.
Yeah, because you feel like even if they hadn't seen me yet, they would have heard something last night.
By the way, don't you love
yeah.
how they can afford putting microphones in random bushes, but they can't get cameras?
That's a good point.
Once again, the music is really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think if Fukube's like slower beats would have worked here. You need higher energy stuff for this.
Yeah.
The surfer rock points just bleeding through this whole soundtrack.
Yeah. Ifukube stuff works for like slower, more like tension-filled stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's
And
more
now
like
Dr. Sayers was
bombastic.
having flashbacks.
And here is the really, really big, obvious thing where Godzilla was supposed to be Kong.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
According to this movie, Bride of Godzilla's plan would have worked out perfectly.
I want to know is why was this kept in, even though it was changed from Kong to Godzilla? Could they really not have done anything else?
I don't know, probably there to pad the runtime and give the kiddies another monster fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Or another monster sequence, even.
This Godzilla does not look good head on.
I don't think this Godzilla looks very good in daylight, honestly.
Oh, honestly.
But yeah, like in daylight, I don't think the suit looks very good.
It is like, yeah, the daylight directly in his face shot. Not the best looking one.
Right. It's a little weird that Ebirah just looks a lot better all around than Godzilla does. Really strange.
Taking a squat there. Hanging out with the babe.
Yeah, like aside from the few scenes with the atomic breath, it's very clear that literally no change was made between the script for Kong and the script for Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Even just with the mannerisms of the suit actor.
Control F.
And that's so strange that they didn't change. Like, it's so strange that how much of Kong bled into this Godzilla. Because even though it was a late change, when they were doing the filming, they could have done something else.
Right. There could have been like improvised.
Here's everyone's favorite monster.
Look out, the greatest fight in history.
All right. Everyone's favorite.
The greatest kaiju in the world.
The giant eagle.
Yeah. The battle's so great. It returned as a different character in a different movie.
Bonk.
He went out like Heisei King Ghidorah.
Don't you know? Don't you know the part of Heisei King Ghidorah was meant for the giant condor?
You're right.
Not only that, but the giant condor went out with more dignity.
Just the worst part is that you're not wrong.
Why? What was that nose rub thing that Godzilla just did? Was he trying to pick his nose?
Yeah, that. Oh my gosh, that. Oh, there's something about that nose rub thing that was very. I think that was just very much a thing in the 60s. Like, again, obviously that was meant for clearly meant for Kong, but I think in general it was just a thing. I guess a lot of Japanese people did in the 60s. I think, or it was
kind of like the dance in Astro Monster.
Yeah, something like that. I think that one. I admit I don't have a better full grip on, but I do think it was something people just kind of did in the 60s, or it was a reference to a character, I think.
Another thing I'd like to point out real quick is that it's probably just the effects at the time, but when they shoot the missiles from the planes, it also has yellow smoke.
That could just be coincidence.
Everything is yellow now. You see it?
You can tell that this was made for Kong because Godzilla's just flailing his arms around instead of blasting planes out of the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Godzilla would have already gotten rid of them by now.
Yeah, as opposed to just swatting at these jets that are flying way too low for some reason.
That and it usually doesn't usually react this much to the planes, right? Like maybe it's just me, but he usually doesn't treat them as that this level of annoyance and seriousness.
No,
because he walks through full scale military assaults with no real issue.
Yeah, this is very much like if Kong was here, I could very much see him flailing his arms around, going, "Oh, Jesus!"
Wait, I just thought of something. This is a nuclear weapons facility, right?
Yes.
What do you think they're probably getting their radiation stuff from Godzilla, or it came from his sleeping area?
No, because they didn't know about him.
Yeah.
Or they knew that there was radiation. There was radiation on the island. They just didn't know Godzilla was there with the radiation. Or maybe that's just why maybe that's
they don't know it's there, but Godzilla is just so inherently radioactive that they think, it's just something there that is radioactive. They don't necessarily equate it with Godzilla.
Well, again, that is all a byproduct of replacing the radioactive Godzilla with the non-radioactive Kong.
Yeah, see, this is probably another big indicator that this was supposed to be Kong, because Godzilla would have gotten through this easily.
Yeah, he would have just been shooting breath already.
Or just doing that.
Right, yeah, he's reacting to the weapons in a way uncharacteristic.
And the man-made electricity.
Which makes me question, what would this script have been like with Kong, who doesn't have an atomic breath? Because Godzilla's used his atomic breath twice so far.
Right. Well, I'm sure something like, say, the giant condor scene. Well, I guess it depends on whether or not he would have had the electric powers in the Ebirah, the Robinson Crusoe movie.
I think he would have, for the giant condor, I think it would have been more of him just thrashing the suit, thrashing the puppet around more.
Yeah.
It.
Right.
Yeah, And like it was just shown, Godzilla destroyed the barrier by using a boulder instead of this atomic ray.
Right.
Man, that suit doesn't look good in the light. You are right.
No, it doesn't.
Oh yeah. And kind of weird. Like those shots where he's like just kind of like hunched over a little and just like kind of strafing. That just looks kind of weird for to see Godzilla be doing.
Like I said, it's like with the exception of Bar, the monster aspect is the one part you don't really need in this movie.
Yeah.
Right, because this movie's story is very human-centric. So it's like, yeah, you could argue they weren't needed, but at the same time, once again, I think the only real, like, if they had Mothra and Mothra larva, you could have done something. But I think just using the Imago would have been, I'm not sure. Because obviously you want to film, like, the fun destruction sequences like this one here, and land monsters tend to do that, pretty well. So,
Did they say that the second Mothra larva died in Ghidorah the Three-Headed
Yes.
Monster? Or was that...
In the Japanese
Yeah,
version, I do
unfortunately.
believe they confirmed that the second Mothra larva died. I'm just saying, like, the adult
Damn.
Mothra here could have had an egg, could have had a kid.
Explain. They don't like to give that much of a reason for why there's another Mothra, considering how many there have been already. It's just, oh, there's another Mothra. End of story.
Because this movie could have just been like a Mothra Imago and a Mothra larva doing this rampage, and it would have fit better with the story instead of also Godzilla / Kong is here.
Right. Because, again, it would make sense for Mothra to go on a rampage saving her people, so.
Mm-hmm.
It also would have made it, because the larva picking up in quotation mark and throwing the boulders, I think makes more sense because it doesn't have a lot of weaponry or natural like attack. So it using the rocks as another weapon is like, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That detonator just looks like a giant tube of lipstick.
Yeah.
Look like a thermos.
Thinking about replacing everything. With
Gotta
Mothra,
look your
would've
best
worked
when you're
out.
blowing up the island. Come on.
Also, they're using a atomic explosion, and they didn't think Godzilla would be affected by this in any way.
Well, there's still the sheer force of the blast that could have done them in, theoretically. But again...
Oh, wait, this is Showa Godzilla. That's right.
mean, considering what period considering what version of Showa this is, and considering the whole island that's supposed to go up, I actually think Godzilla may have either died or been severely injured by this.
Right, but once again, swapping out Kong for Godzilla leaves a lot of hindsight. So...
Yep.
Yeah, because
Kong would not have survived this.
Yeah, with Godzilla, there's like the question of would he have been okay, but with Kong, it's like there's no question he would have died.
And it would make sense for all the characters to scream for him to get off the island.
Yeah.
That too, because there's not really too much of a reason for them to be like, Godzilla, you gotta escape. Because at this point, Godzilla is still like a villain.
Or just, I wouldn't say villain, just more or less them more weary of him.
Yeah. Well, what I mean, like in the public perception in universe, like there would be no reason for them to be like, we gotta make sure Godzilla survives this.
This probably would have been a good Mothra film. Like, you could have had it where, like, the old Mothra is dying, and that's why she's not moving around as much. And then the egg hatches and sends the larva. Which then causes the Imago to go out and try to save the larva.
It would also make more sense, like both Mothras to be like, okay, neither Mothra could survive the whole island going up.
You know, if they were going to have King Kong in here, I'm surprised they didn't use Faroe Island.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Like, I'm surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm surprised the natives here weren't from Faroe Island if this was meant to be Kong. So,
I wouldn't be surprised if they had kept Khan, that would have been the case. But because Khan was out, they'd like, well, it'd be weird to have Godzilla.
Well, no, it was always Infinite Island from the get-go, even in the original version. It was always, it was always Infinite Island from the get-go. I'm just saying, with the fact that they wanted to use Kong at first, I'm surprised they didn't use Faroe Island.
Yeah.
True.
It'd be cool if it had been like both Faro and Infinite Island.
Oh,
yeah, I think what Kaiju X is saying is just have the main setting being Faro Island, but still have the Red Bamboo kidnap people from Infinite Island.
Yeah, like I was thinking that like Faroe Island would be like on the island of Red Bamboo set up as, not like Kong. He just lives there.
Right.
Well, they could have just done Mondo Island. Mondo has its own natives too. It has that old guy.
Just the one old guy that we see.
Yeah, it's just the one old guy that we see.
You can't have one person live on a whole island and count that as the natives.
Right.
I think Kaiju X was just saying, like, just have it be the Mondo Islanders instead of Infinite Island.
Well, yeah, I was saying where they could have gotten the natives from was Faroe Island instead of Mondo Island.
But I like Alex's idea of them. They set up on Mondo Island and get the Faro Islander. They set up on Faro and get the Infinite Islanders.
Yeah, I'm saying like they could have connected it more to Kong by using the natives from Faro.
And the berry juice.
Yeah, maybe the berry juice could have been the repellent.
Can we talk about Godzilla schmoovin there?
What'd you say?
What?
She said, "Can we talk about
Godzilla was schmoovin, man?"
Ah.
He was wiggling his arms around, man. Oh, there it is. Fight's over.
I always like these underwater shots.
Yeah, they're neat.
Underwater fights are fun.
Was that a neck breaker?
The underwater fights are fun, but I understand why they didn't really do too many of them, just because.
Oh, yeah.
It's annoying.
I'm trying to think. Was this the only Showa film with underwater fights?
Showa film.
Because I don't think Ghidorah had any.
No, not underwater fights. No, there are underwater sequences in Hedorah, but not underwater fights. I think it is. I think this might be the only film where Godzilla actively fights underwater. Because again, we see a lot of underwater sequences in the movie, but not underwater fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Showa era, this is the only one.
Yeah, yeah, I'd like to point out this, song is pretty good, like a good tension builder.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's probably the only track that Ifukube would be able to do.
Uh-huh. Right, a very Ifukube-esque sort of cue that's just a lot of tension of the, everything going on at once. Godzilla fighting Ebirah, the guys trying to prepare for their Mothra takeoff, the nuke going off. Yeah.
I actually think what Nagoda would use it about Mothra dying, and that's why she can't really get up that much. I actually like that more because otherwise Mothra's being incredibly lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they've been singing to her for a whole day by this point.
Dancing.
Not even a whole day. This is like a whole week.
She's finally waking up.
With only 7 minutes left to go.
Yeah, finally.
Yep.
God, that prop looks so dirty.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like straight up like a prop from Mothra versus Godzilla that had been sitting around for a couple years.
Yeah.
That, or they got it from the dumpster.
I mean, they might have thrown it in the dumpster and be like, oh, wait, we're going to have her in the movie. Fish her out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we could still use her one more time.
Just shoot it in a way where it isn't obvious. They then proceed to shoot her in only daylight, full on.
Oof. I remember Matt Frank, I think he said this was his first Godzilla movie, I believe. Or like he said that this was his first Godzilla movie. And he genuinely believed, little baby Frank believed that Ebirah was a real giant lobster.
Huh.
I guess I share that with him.
Oh no.
Oh, God, that looks awful.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, not particularly great that time.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't have had Mothra throughout the whole movie if he's looking like this.
Like
that looks fine.
Yeah, that was fine.
That's an interesting angle.
Was that really the best thing they could do? That I do like that Godzilla just makes a beeline for Mothra the second he sees her. Like, I saw beef with you, motherfucker.
It's one way to look at it.
I mean, to me, that makes sense of Godzilla still has some beef with Mothra.
Right, even after like being swayed by her words to save the world.
To me, I always headcanon that he still had a problem with the imago form, not the larva form.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, to me, the larva form, I don't think it was less we need to save the world and more we need to team up, otherwise he's gonna whoop all of them. To me, the larva form did not convince Godzilla to be a hero. He just convinced Godzilla to team up.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, that's two different things.
That's true. Because
I don't think Godzilla did it to save the world. Neither did Rodan. They didn't care.
They just wanted to continue their fight.
I cut you off. I'm
There
sorry.
you go.
If that's the thing, if they wanted to continue destroying it, then they would have done it after Ghidorah was defeated or at the beginning of Monster Zero.
Yeah. They were more content
True.
to be left alone, is the thing.
After, I was looking at the fight with Ghidorah just took a lot out of Rodan and Godzilla, and they just went home.
It's a good thing Godzilla forgot to use his atomic ray.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's almost like it wasn't meant for Godzilla.
Also, don't you just love how the Infant Island?
Darn, she
have
got
that?
away. If all they had a projectile weapon.
Yep.
Can you imagine how different in tone this movie would it?
I was just gonna say I did like the scene of Mothra just smacking Godzilla aside with her wing.
Right, very good. Yeah, I didn't mind the fact that the fight was just literally a Mothra's bitch slap on Godzilla. I did not mind that.
Because, that wasn't the point.
Yeah, Mothra is there for a very different reason. She did not have time to tango with Godzilla today.
Mothra basically just says, get out of my way. I need to go. Oh,
It's a hit and run.
I better leave. Don't jump.
Hooray, I got a brief green screen.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just a flash of green on the screen.
Yeah, there was. Oof. That's an impressive island destruction bit here.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Good stuff.
Another thing that ties this into Khan is that in the original movie, and I want to say in the original movie, in the sequel, Skull Island sinks.
Oh yeah.
Like
Really?
in Son of Khan, the island completely sinks.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I guess that is a fitting way to sort of tie it back to that.
There's Mothra's behind.
All right, I'm gonna bring this back up now. I like how the Infant Islanders always just seem to have this, like they just know how to make a giant net as a backup plan in case something happens to their island.
Well, I mean, they have to. They have to be packing. It's a dangerous neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that ending scene of them just being super excited to see
Yeah.
Godzilla swimming away made more sense with Kong.
And just how bizarre this is, this is the end of our commentary track with only 17 seconds left.
Yep.
This has been Ebirah Horror of the Deep and our commentary. We hope you found it entertaining and insightful. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
See ya.
See you guys later.
Fuck you.